President-elect Joe Biden has received his first security briefing, a transition briefing that's crucial right now. I believe Kamala Harris was also part of that. Jackie Heinrich has more from Wilmington, Delaware. Hey, Jackie.
Good afternoon, Neil. Good to see you. Hope you had a good holiday. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris received her briefing at the Department of Commerce. That is where the official transition office is located. It's been rarely used since it was first made available in September. And President-elect Joe Biden received his first briefing, presidential daily briefing, at his home here in Wilmington. We can deduce that it has now been concluded from the language that I just received from one of the transition officials. It marks the very first time Biden has received this briefing as the president-elect. He was previously receiving limited intelligence briefings as a Democratic nominee, but after he won the election, he was blocked from the PDB, as it's called, for several weeks while the White House held up the formal transition. It led to a really unusual situation where for about 3 weeks, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris had access to more classified information than Biden himself because she was a member of the Senate Intel Committee. Biden at one point resorted to holding a national security briefing with outside intelligence, diplomacy, and defense experts. Meantime, Biden announced 6 key choices for his economic team today, nominating former Fed Chair Janet Yellen for Treasury Secretary. If confirmed, she will be the first woman to lead the department, and she'll face a unique set of challenges managing economic fallout from the pandemic. Biden also tapped Neera Tanden from the liberal think tank, the Center for American Progress, to lead the Office of Management and Budget. Her nomination, though, is already being met with a lot of pushback. There are reports that Democrats have floated the idea of a sort of sacrificial lamb to let the Senate flex its muscles, so to speak, maybe nix a confirmation of one person to allow others to more easily pass through. And she's being eyed potentially as someone who might fit that description. Lots and lots of pushback against her nomination here today, Neil.
All right, there's always one in those cabinet choices, and invariably there's someone that just doesn't get through. Jackie Heinrich, thank you very much. Jackie, of course, in Wilmington, Delaware, following the president-elect. Charlie Gasparino, following the president-elect's economic team choices, what we know of them thus far. Charlie, what can you tell us?
Well, I think Janet Yellen is going to pass. I think they're all going to get through except for Neera Tanden, and we'll get to that in a second. Here's what I think. Listen, this is all this is all based on this analysis that I'm going to give you, that the GOP keeps the Senate. And I think people inside the Biden camp believe it's a very good chance that the GOP is going to take one of those Georgia Senate runoffs. If that happens, there's 51 Republicans, and you need votes to get through. You need Republican votes to get through. That being said, Janet Yellen, she'll be approved. Not saying they won't break her chops a little bit, which they will. If you saw the column I wrote in the New York Post, her stuff about income inequality just doesn't really jive with the record of income inequality during the Obama years, where income inequality just exploded, and the gaps between the rich and the poor, and not only that, the wage rate of those on the lower end fell dramatically, where rich people made a lot of money feasting on Janet Yellen's 0%, near 0% interest rates and Fed easing. So she's going to have to answer to that, and I think that's going to be but that'll be more rhetorical. She'll get through. Even some of the guys that, like Brian Deese does as head of the I believe the NEC, he doesn't need to be approved. But again, he's in that tradition of Janet Yellen, much more mainstream, much more policy oriented. It's the Neera Tanden thing that I keep hearing from my Republican sources, that they're going to try to light her up when she gets out there. She's been very partisan over the years on the cable TV circuit, doing partisan, making her partisan points, and I think they believe that they have good grounds to deny her. I don't know if she's been put up as a sacrificial lamb. I kind of don't believe that. That's a little too conspiracy oriented to me. I just think that they don't realize the type of pushback. They underestimated the type of pushback they're going to get from her, thinking that Republicans are just going to roll over and allow any